a brand new episode of the podcast entitled Couch Potatoes Unite! Which is based on a blog of the same name because you see what we want you to see, but all lies lead to the truth. If you watch the show we're discussing today, you get it. My name is Kylie and I love TV. If you feel the same, keep listening and or checking out our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, as you're bound to find some common ground or something you like. For Couch Potatoes Unite, we're all about the wonders and the unique long-form storytelling of the small screen. CPU, is gearing up for the new fall season and hopes you've been following releases of brand new episodes of the podcast on Wednesdays, as well as new blog entries on some Tuesdays. And as always, we have several more new episodes on the way. Because the panelists and I live lives behind our podcast, the episodes are published once per week. Subscribe to the blog or the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and via Google Play to stay on top of brand new episodes. Episodes already published discuss a variety of shows around the water cooler, including, but not limited to, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, The Vampire Diaries, The Good Place, Grace and Frankie, Game of Thrones, Broadchurch, Stranger Things, iZombie, Fuller House, American Horror Story, Doctor Who, and Supernatural. Plus, new episodes are in the works, including revisits for a series of unfortunate events, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., New Girl, The Originals, Gotham, Once Upon a Time, 13 Reasons Why, Orange is the New Black, Schitt's Creek. The Marvel's Defenders panel will talk Season 2 of Luke Cage, and the DCTU panel will return to discuss Season 4 of The Flash and Season 3 of Supergirl. We'll be launching new panels covering Sense8, The Crown, Westworld, and Arrested Development. We'll be launching a new feature called Versus, where we'll be comparing shows in a spicy debate, and because we look back at shows now past, we'll be looking back at one of our most popularly requested panels of all time, which is Friends, and I swear to you, and I'm not just saying it, they'll be there for you sometime this fall. By the way, did you know that CPU also from time to time goes live? We've been live from the Bunker, a comedy outlet, Mondays at Dog Story Theater in Grand Rapids Comic-Con. And we're planning more live appearances and other cool stuff. So make sure you like or follow us at our Facebook page, our Twitter at CPU Podcast, our Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite, or subscribe to the blog, our YouTube channel, our iTunes channel, our Stitcher Radio channel, or find us on Google Play. In the meantime, if you don't hear your show in this podcast format, fellow panelists and I still write reviews, and we always seek new panelists. So if you have any interest in joining the discussion, say hello by finding us at any of those outlets I've mentioned. At the very least, stop by and leave us a thumbs up, comment, or review. We like feedback. We understand, more than most, that the truth is out there. Today, we're around the water cooler and discussing Season 11 of TheX-Files, which aired from January 3rd to March 21st, 2018 on Fox with a total of 10 episodes. You may recall, gentle listener, if you're a follower of the CPU podcast, that almost 3 years ago, in our podcast's earliest months, we recorded a 5-part series, our first of its kind, with a 4-part retrospective about the original 9 seasons of the X-Files, followed by a 5th episode in which we recapped and reviewed Season 10, the first of the revival seasons. These episodes are still available at our website and at our YouTube channel because our audio feeds include only the 50 most recent episodes. If you haven't listened, we encourage you to do so, as they are very in-depth and full of a myriad of observations about one of our favorite shows. They are podcasty goodness and X-Files spooky gold all rolled into one. Well, we determined at the end of that 5th episode and after the 10th season that as long as the network kept making the X-Files, our podcast would cover the show in our usual water cooler format. Thus, our ongoing X-Files panel of 4, plus your usual moderator, are back around the water cooler to do just that. To remind the listener, both the original and the revival of the X-Files series revolve around Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agents Fox Mulder, played by David Duchovny, and Dana Scully, played by Gillian Anderson, who investigate X-Files, marginalized unsolved cases involving paranormal phenomena. In the original show premise, Mulder believes in the existence of aliens and the paranormal, while Scully, a medical doctor and a skeptic, is initially assigned to be Mulder's partner to make scientific analyses of Mulder's discoveries to debunk his work and thus return him to mainstream cases. Early in the series, both agents become pawns in a larger conflict and come to trust only each other and a few select people. The agents also discover an agenda of the government to keep the existence of extraterrestrial life a secret. They develop a close relationship, which begins as a platonic friendship, but becomes a romance by the end of the series. In addition to the series-spanning story arc, there are also so-called Monster of the Week episodes, which delve into supernatural, paranormal, spiritual, and other unusual subjects. The 11th season, specifically, follows Agents Mulder and Scully, newly reinstated to the FBI, by picking up directly after the 10th season's finale. The search for Mulder and Scully's son William is the main story arc of the season and is touched upon primarily in episodes 1, 5, and 10, while the other episodes serve as the monsters of the week, though the second episode, This, serves to supplement the overall arc from an expositional standpoint. Our panel of X-Files, that's Philes, so you know, long-term fanatics, otherwise known as Nick, Sarah, Kyle, and Hilary, return to our water cooler after a 2-year hiatus in this incarnation to snarkily parse out, in our typically devoted detail, for better or for worse, this latest and possibly final season of the show that almost single-handedly fueled this latest wave of so-called revival television, where old shows come back and pretend to be new shows, or at least passable continuations of the old shows, though I think we'd all agree on this panel that the X-Files did it first and did it best. As always, it should be noted that all of our panelists have viewed all of the X-Files to date and will, let's face it, discuss sensitive plot points. So, for those of you who are not caught up on this show, listen at your own risk, and I do mean at your own risk, as there are going to be major spoilers. The truth is out there, after all. Welcome back, panel. How are you?
Great.
Long time no talk as the X-Files panel.
Right. I was gonna call BS.
As the X-Files panel was in there.
Right.
Are you ready to talk about season 11?
Yeah.
Surely.
I
It's the
think they
exact
are.
same group of Doctor Who?
Minus Kristen.
who's never seen the X-Files.
So,
How do you
Well-
never see it?
She just doesn't always make good choices.
But then you've never read Harry Potter, so let's
That's
not cast
Whoa.
fair
stones.
enough.
Okay.
I was gonna ask if it was
But in
actually gonna be
certain ways I
second, but-
have, just in other things. Continue on.
Let's talk about the X-Files.
You brought it up.
So, before we can talk about season 11, I'm now going to take your temperature, because after all, shows can get better or worse in our heads because they're awesome or are not awesome anymore. They lack awesomeness. I don't think that's the way you're going to go. But I'm still going to check your temperature with the standard CPU character question, which changes with each show we do. I'm going to preface this by saying that last time everybody was the same character except one person. So I'm going to ask you how you'd rate your interest in this show, The X-Files, after this latest showing, season 11. Are you ready, panel?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to believe you love everything about the X-Files, good or bad, and can't wait for more, even when your desire to believe is shaken, like Fox Mulder? You're skeptical, there are things you believe or disbelieve, like or dislike, and you prefer to rely on science to frame your preference for this show, even though you can't discount your past supernatural extraterrestrial experiences, or your faith in your partner on the streets and in the sheets, like Dana Scully. You walk the line of skeptic and believer. Really, watching the show is more about doing your job and protecting those who work for you and like the show, because whatever may happen, you know there are shadowy members of government looking to destroy everything decent in the world, and you're not prepared to let that happen, if you can help it, like Walter Skinner. You watched because you feel guilty for supporting said shadowy government types as a means to an end. At least, that's why we think you came back, like Monica Reyes. You watched it for the first time this season, but didn't like what you saw, and you thought it better to stop, lest you learn something that could result in world destruction. Like Jackson Vandekamp, a.k.a. William, a.k.a. apparently the test tube son of Scully and Cigarette Smoking Man. I guess, spoiler, maybe, we'll discuss it. You didn't watch it as you were too busy being a digital replica of a former consciousness, like former lone gunman Richard Ringo Langley, or you stopped watching it because, spoiler, you might have finally died permanently. Maybe, like the cigarette smoking man, aka Cancer Man, aka Black Lung Son of a Bitch, aka CGB Spender, aka Carl Gerhard Bush. Who would like to start?
I'm Nick. I'm still Mulder.
Hi, Nick. You're still Mulder. Welcome back.
Thanks.
You don't want to say anything more?
I could, but I'll just say it again in the discussion.
I guess you will. You're very
That's a
enthusiastic.
super good point, though. With that being said, I'll go next. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Hilary.
You are.
You're my sister.
It's true.
And my husband, Kylie, will talk in a moment.
Maybe.
Or he won't. I don't know.
It's a weird
But
thing,
I'm
but-
going to go ahead and say that I'm still Mulder as well.
I'm
For
shocked.
obvious reasons. If you've listened to the previous episodes, I'm a fan. I probably won't ever stop being one. The end.
Okay. Welcome back, Hilary.
What was the sex one again?
Scully.
That was Scully.
What was that one about?
If you're skeptical, there are things you believe or disbelieve, like or dislike, and you prefer to rely on science to frame your preference for this show, even though you can't discount your past supernatural extraterrestrial experiences or your faith in your partner on the streets and in the sheets.
Oh.
The word science disgusted her.
No, it didn't. I'm just not very good at sex.
look at
I'm
you.
Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
I'm married to Nick.
You are.
So I wanted to say the Scully one because he's my partner in the streets and other places. But
Well, that's good.
I was trying to be delicate. We have 2 children, clearly.
Yeah, the junior podcasters are upstairs to prove it.
That
No
ship
one's
is sailed.
questioning your life
That ship is
choices.
sailed.
I don't really fit that, so I guess I'm Mulder.
Okay, you were Mulder last time.
Oh, good. I do love David Duchovny.
And who doesn't?
Taya Leone, maybe?
Oh, too soon.
Is it?
No. I don't like her. Sorry, man. Welcome back, Sarah.
There's all sorts of
Good to be
revelations
here.
coming up.
I know, the truth is out there.
I'm Kyle,
Hi,
Hilary's
Kyle.
husband.
He is talking, and he's Hilary's husband, and therefore
This
my
time.
brother-in-law. Not any other time.
But based on those descriptions, I also have to say Mulder.
Whoa!
As much as I love Skinner,
Who
but
you were last time.
He just wants to be Skinner to be Skinner. The actual, like, the points you're making in the character descriptions, he just wants to be Skinner. That has nothing to do with it.
otherwise I love everything X-Files, just like my wife. It's one of our major bonding points when we started dating. So, and this season I thought was great, with the exception of one episode.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mystery.
Foreshadowing. Welcome back, Kyle. And I'm Kylie, I've mentioned. And last time I was Mulder, and this time I was Mulder. That's it. I want to believe. What, that poster? Someday.
I bet you can get it.
Pretty dope.
It's pretty
I was
easy
gonna
to
say,
get.
it's
I just never, I've never pulled the trigger, as it were. Well, welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk about Season 11. Season 11 was a little bit longer than Season 10, which may or may not have pleased you. We'll talk about that. But generally, what I'd like you to do is the same old, same old. Did you love this season? Did you hate this season? And anything in between? Tell the listener, tell us all.
I think this season was by far the best season of The X-Files since they've brought it back.
There was a lot of build-up, and I agree.
I really enjoyed this one. And I enjoyed
Yeah.
Season 10, but I don't know how much I would have enjoyed it if it literally came the next year after 9, even though it would have
Yeah.
been getting Duchovny back.
They were
Still,
still like
but they-
working back into their chemistry.
Mhm.
This season with the writers and everything, it felt so
It
much
fell
more
in-
like classic
It
X-Files.
fell so much into place. I think it really benefited from the 10 episodes as opposed to the 6. I loved season 10, but I agree that season 11 just overall is stronger, and I like it a lot more, but I think that having those few extra episodes in there was good for the Monster of the Week episodes and the story that they were trying to tell.
And they didn't try to overly convolute the mythology, which I think the previous season was trying to fix, and they kind of made it more wonky.
But they were squeezing so
Yeah,
much.
because they only had those like two real mythology episodes.
Well,
Well,
in
they-
half those episodes, they were trying to catch up the
Yeah.
apparently the small population of people who've never seen the X-Files who would have started watching season 10 right at that episode.
Which
with a
at that
bunch of
point, it's like,
flashbacks.
sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
That ship
Yeah.
has to.
Yeah, you can find it.
yeah,
people,
there's
just-
things are very accessible nowadays. Don't try to
Ooh.
catch.
And the internet will tell you which episodes to watch if you just want to watch the fewest possible to get caught up too. Like people have really taken the time
Their
with this
mindset
show.
was still in the 90s. They're like, oh, we got to catch people up. You don't have to.
So the first episode basically said that my struggle 1 and 2 didn't. 1, 2,
Yeah,
and 3
pretty
happened.
much,
Which
yeah.
No, 3 was the first episode.
My struggle
3 and 4
is
was
the
this
first.
season.
And Struggle 2 happened, it just didn't happen the way we thought it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was weird. I thought it was weird, but it kind of took care of a lot of the stuff that I thought was not the best in season 10.
That's the one episode I didn't like this season because I don't like lazy writing where it's like you can tell nobody liked the finale from last season, so they just kind of were like, oh, it's a vision. It didn't quite happen that way, which it always feels like lazy writing, but I'm also kind of glad it didn't happen that way because I didn't like that mythology.
Kyle
I
doesn't
think.
like the vision and the dream scenario things where things don't happen in anything.
I thought it
generally.
was actually somewhat clever because not only did they use that device to say, oh, remember this confusing finale that didn't make a lot of sense timing-wise and kind of felt
There's
rushed.
a reason why.
There's a reason why, so here it is, and then they kind of interwove that reason throughout the season in
I agree.
the select mythology episodes.
I don't always like it, like Kyle, but I think in this scenario it worked well. Just because
Although
of the
it is
storyline.
ironic that they made Scully clairvoyant when she's such a skeptic, and in any of the episodes where there's somebody who sees the future, even the movie I Want to Believe, where she's skeptic about the priest, it's kind of funny that she ended up there.
Agreed. I think I can see it both ways being. It comes off as lazy because, as a whole, it seems lazy, that storyline, because this is what we did, people didn't like it, undo. So in that episode it feels lazy, but at least they did. They didn't just do who shot JR, no, I'm alive, and go on. They
It
kept
felt
addressing
necessary.
it. Yes, they kept addressing it, which really helped. I think, I can't remember where I landed. I have to rewatch the whole series. I go back and forth between mythology and Monsters of the Week, but with the revival, especially season 11, the Monsters of the Week are so good.
And with that first episode, I think what put me off too was the whole cigarette smoking man being Williams.
Yes,
That reveal, and I think everyone was with me on that. At least on the internet, they were.
I'm still with you. Do we buy that?
I don't. I think he was,
Maybe just.
or maybe
messing
I
with
hope
them?
because I don't like it, is, yes, he's trying to play mind games on them.
Yeah, I mean, the way he phrased it, you could have taken it a couple of different ways. When they were first trying to set it up and he was telling Skinner this, he had almost implied unwelcome sexual contact with Scully in that one episode when she...
Which William B. Davis really didn't like that either, because he directed that episode with Scully.
I
He
love
thought
that.
it
I love that
completely
episode. It's called
retroactively.
Enemy. I love
It
that
retroactively
episode.
changes the whole tone of that episode.
Right.
Because in some weird way in that episode they have a special bond, and then that adds obviously quite a layer of creepiness to it that wasn't probably necessary. Cigarette smoking man is obviously supposed to be scary, but
He's never been
He's still a
deliberately,
human.
like,
Yeah.
He's still-
predatory.
Yeah.
That feels weird. I mean,
Mhm.
and then, but when they fast forward again to start talking about it in My Struggle 4, which is the finale of the season, he then implies that it's some sort of test tube,
Yeah.
laboratory grown, where his genetic material and her genetic material,
That he pretty much just shot her up with something. And,
Yeah,
and made a
combined.
he still
alien
just
baby.
feels the special bond with her, which is, I mean, it's just par for the course. They were just trying to, but yeah, in the way that it was originally acted and written, it just seems like it was meant to be something creepier than what it was. I just still think they were mostly going for shock factor.
Yeah.
More than anything else, the way the X-Files were.
They wanted to kick the season off.
Yeah,
with, like,
they
a
wanted
kick
to. They
the gut.
wanted. I mean, you can't tell me that they didn't expect people to react like that. I mean, that's a big deal. They know how much. I mean, that was a big chunk of storyline in the later seasons of the original show. Was her being pregnant and then having the kid and having to get rid of the kid.
Yeah.
And of course, people are going to have that special bond with it between Mulder and Scully. So.
That was the first time we knew they must have had sex.
Yes,
Definitively.
it was a big deal. So
Yeah.
they knew it was going to be shocking to people, especially like the longtime fans. I mean,
How sad for Mulder.
well, and there was
Well,
always...
he's getting a new baby now.
Yes, that's the reveal of the
Spoilers.
season finale.
Yeah.
We're jumping ahead, Kyle.
Better baby. A human baby.
That's a lot of presumption. You're jumping
that is
ahead,
true.
Kyle.
It is a lot of presumption because it happened. Something could happen again. You don't
It's
know.
just what a rotten dad he has. That guy gets him every chance he can.
Yeah, he does.
He's not good to his other kids either.
He's even worse than Darth Vader. That's true. Poor Jeffrey Spender, who did appear in My Struggle 3.
I know, I always enjoy when he's there.
And I'm glad they fixed his face, because I thought if you can bring someone back from the dead, you sure as hell can fix a guy's face.
I know, right?
They fixed cigarette smoking man's face pretty good.
I know.
That's right.
Plastic surgery is off the chain nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just think that obviously the Williams storyline is going to continue going. We don't want to jump ahead to that last episode, but I still think it was just ways that they can keep the whole arc going.
I guess so. I mean, yes, but I don't know. There's just the thing that I'm fearing now, and ironically, we took a momentary break and talked about Star Wars. So that's the thing. I mean, Chris Carter is the one who he writes all the ARC episodes. He wrote all 5 of them, or maybe at least there's 3 of them officially. 2 is kind of unofficially one because the Barbara Hershey character appeared. But he's been writing the Williams-centered stuff, the ARC stuff, and I'm just afraid that he's going to lose his continuity from, which granted is all convoluted and squiggly and wibbly-wobbly, but there are things in the original series that led up to the birth of William, and now that he is a 17-year-old with special powers and part alien, great. And there's a lot of stuff that kind of fed into that. I just hope they don't lose that with all of this confusing the narrative business. Because these were the 2. I agree that this season was very strong and much stronger than season 10, but I still struggle with the struggles.
Like, it
Not
feels
as
like
much as the
Chris
first
Carter
2.
should step away.
I almost feel that. I think he should let James Wong and Darren Morgan and Glenn Morgan wrote one this time, and I think he should let the people who handle it well do it more.
I wouldn't be upset about it. Darren Morgan's episodes are always the best.
Yes. Or at least they're supremely abstract, and you just find yourself going, what am I watching?
They're brilliant.
But that's the 4th episode. Do you want to go in order?
Might as well.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Because the next one is
This. Which features the digital artificially intelligent simulation of Langley's consciousness.
Oh, lordy. Lordy.
The only reason I didn't like that one, I enjoyed that one. I just didn't like that now. It seems like it would be harder to say, oh, they're alive.
Yeah.
Which maybe they don't want to do, but
I think they don't want to do it.
I always want more lone gunmen.
Yeah, they don't want to commit either way because they still make a point of the fact that nobody saw their bodies, and it's like they want it both ways, where if we want to bring them back, we can, but we can also still say they're dead. But I will say I loved how the episode starts, where they're just hanging out at Mulder's house, and then
drinking beer.
and then
There's lots of
the gunmen break in the door, and you see they're kind of so used to it, like they're used to like just being in a gunfight together that it's not a big deal to them.
Yes, I did love that.
And I think that episode just opens too because they're in the house and there's just all that nice classic X-Files imagery just around the house, the sunflower seeds, just a nice little portrait. Yeah, nice little portrait of the lone gunman.
With
little
the pencils
thing.
and
Yes.
seeds.
Yes. So I always enjoy that because they always do that for the long time watchers like all of us. So
When it's just
it's a fun thing.
committing to the characters that we know and love.
I thought this episode was set up very, very well. I mean, I agree. They're trying to have it both ways, but I think they did a good job here.
I do.
Yeah, it works really well.
Because
It starts you with hoping, it's a new
Yeah.
season, maybe we're going to get them back.
Exactly. You spend the first 20 minutes like, is he alive for real, though? But then, of course, they give you the answer. Well, the answer in the episode. But I was
fine even still just seeing him digitally. I mean, it was pretty. It was still pretty exciting to see him.
Yeah, that was a neat thing to do because they could have just had that be anybody. Oh, my friend Barney that we never saw.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it.
They
And
did
just
that in the 4th episode.
seeing him get to talk to Mulder, considering like Mulder even says he wasn't around before they died, so
Right.
like just first time we've seen Mulder talking to him again.
Oh yeah, that'd probably be the hardest for Mulder because he wasn't around for the funeral or
Yeah.
anything.
I loved that acknowledgement.
Yeah, I like that they actually went out to Arlington to where they're quote unquote,
Graves.
resting.
Finding the little clues. On
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I said. They're still helping Mulder even when they're not there.
But I even like the acknowledgement that, I mean, he referenced the time, the character referenced the time that the actor was off the show.
Yeah.
They haven't shied away from that, even though they brought Annabeth Gish back. We
Eh.
didn't even talk about her. She was in the
That's
first struggle.
Oh, she was.
I was
The
just
most-
saving it for the
so was
last
I.
talking point because the bottom line is no one likes Monica Reyes.
I do, but
Yeah.
I do not care for what they did.
Okay.
I don't like the character. I think they're
I-
like a lot of people
Yeah.
don't like the character, so we're gonna lean hard into that. And
But then it's still, again, in the end, she's still a cop-out because she's like, well, I'm still helping him on the side. I'm being like...
She does her conflicted face.
Yes. And so because she calls Mulder to warn them.
which doesn't.
It's really not helping that much compared to how much you're harming.
This is why I was sick.
I know. And it doesn't feel like the character we got, like her or not, it doesn't feel like Monica Reyes.
It could have been a
helping Scully
Right.
give birth to the baby.
They just needed a way to insert her, and they know that people don't like her for the most part, except
Her
for
schedule
Sarah
was
Carolyn.
open.
I like her. I like her too.
don't like her. She was one of the worst
I was
additions
keep
ever
watching
to that show.
the X-Files without Mulder because I enjoyed Doggett and Reyes together.
I like Doggett. I don't like Reyes as much, but my thing is, if you're going to use Reyes, use her the way you set her up. There's absolutely no explanation. Very little. Very, like, lame kind of... That's lazy to me.
That's all Chris Carter.
I know, it's Chris Carter. Like, I'm going to throw in because I can still try to help, even though I'm aligning myself with the devil, apparently. So... It was very, and she's not, I mean, when she's on the screen in the revival seasons, she's not actually engaging or like, how can you have any kind of empathy or sympathy for her?
Yeah, she just made me sad.
Okay.
Because I was the only one that was speaking up for her, and she betrayed us. She made me look like a fool. Like a fool!
Well, it wasn't personal.
Should we finish talking about her here or wait till we get to the end?
We can wait.
Okay.
So back to this. Back to the episode of this, which is this.
Yeah, that was a good app.
I liked it. I really did like it. I thought the ending was a little weird, but it also
That
made
maybe they
sense.
didn't accomplish anything.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That bothered me, but if I pretend that like they didn't show that, I actually think that like Mulder and Scully saved him from this virtual hell, the episode works better for me.
Okay.
I mean, I just like though
Very
when they're
helpful.
when the people are first breaking into the house or whatever, and they're like super badass. Like, I
That
mean,
was cool.
Kyle said like, well, I mean, they've been doing it for 20 years, which is true, but it's still awesome. I mean, they've obviously aged, but it's like, psh, whatever. I mean, Scully sliding across the floor, whipping the table up, bang, bang. I mean, that's some good stuff.
They found a good way to give us the show we used to have, but also move it forward.
Yes, I agree. It started off very, very strong. Well, how do we feel about the Barbara Hershey character? She played, her name was Erica
Price.
She basically, so her and the other guy who in the credits is called Mr. Y, sold themselves as former members of the syndicate.
I like the idea that there's like an anti-syndicate out there. I just don't think they really like
Fleshed it out.
Yeah, exactly. It had a lot of
Agreed.
potential, but it
And
just
it
seemed
seems
like a couple of people in an empty office building.
With a
And they-
vendetta against CSM, honestly, because
Yeah.
that's what it felt like the most.
And then they kind of just ended it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
too, in the season. I think it would have made more sense if they built it up more and left it as, oh, the cigarette smoking man is dead, but we still have these people to deal with and their plans.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with those characters, but in some regard, I knew it was going to happen because, again, even though I just said the 10 episodes were better than the 6, I actually think that, like, 12 or 13 probably would have been, like, ideal. So that some of those other new elements that they're adding, that they're still trying to take the place of some of the old stuff that's gone, like the original Syndicate members. That way they could have actually done that and fleshed that out. I know David and Jillian didn't want to do too much because they've got other stuff going on, but...
What's David doing?
He's
He
making albums.
He also just put out a book this summer.
And a book.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. He's
And
been
then she was
Maybe
doing
he's
American
directing.
Gods. And
Yeah.
Oh.
I think she left that, though.
this next season,
Oh,
she's not
okay.
going to be on it.
But while this stuff was still going on. But yeah, so that's just my thought, that some of those other elements would have been able to be touched on a little bit more if they had that extra time. And maybe, like you guys were saying, written by somebody else would be fine. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't know. Everybody's different, so.
Look, if you're going to rewrite your own mythology from the first 9 seasons, you're going to get some dirty looks. That's all I'm saying.
People are okay with it with Doctor Who.
That's different in a lot of different
I'm just saying.
ways.
No, I mean it's part of the genre though too. I mean if you it's a sci-fi based genre. That's part of what comes along with that. I mean I don't know, from a lot of stuff that I've seen. You're looking at me like I'm crazy, but that is pretty common.
I mean, no, you're right. It's true of sci-fi. I would not call the X-Files purely science fiction, though. I guess that's kind
No,
of where
it's got
I'm
lots of
landing.
elements to it, but I'm just saying they're not the only ones to have done that.
I still think this one's vastly different, but okay.
I was just
keep
using
going.
that as one example, not a direct comparison, but
Okay.
you can keep going. That's fine.
I stand by my position. So, anybody else want to say anything about this? Or do you want to go to +1, where Mulder and Scully investigate the deaths of persons who see their own realized and murderous doppelgangers, psychic projections of the Poundstone twins, which was played by Karen Konoval, who also played the mom in Home. And
Another character in the X-Files.
well, I went for the Home one. That's more famous.
It's more famous.
What's the other one? No, I can't even remember.
Isn't she the psychic that gets killed in Clyde?
Yes.
Druckmann's
Yeah,
Never
she
Close?
is.
Yep.
They gave her a lot to do in this one.
Iconic episodes.
I know. Her face keeps coming up.
But it usually looks really different.
It does. So
Especially in
speaking
Home.
of that, she's playing a male and female fraternal twin in this particular episode.
She does a really good job.
Hecka talented and stuff.
I feel like if it was on a different show, it'd be over the top. But with like the tone X-Files has, it worked.
Well, and they also played it kind of in the humorous realm, at least when they
Yeah.
visited him, the brother.
And he's supposed to be unsettling, so it kind of added that layer of just how similar and weird they both are.
I enjoyed that episode. It, I think, had that X-Files weird to it.
It was very X-Files toned to me.
Mhm.
I thought it was very...
It wasn't my
classic.
favorite, but I didn't not
Yeah.
like it. It was a good episode. Good job. Let's do next week. Like, that was how I felt. Let's watch the next one. You know, I don't know.
Solid.
Solid as a rock.
Actually, my favorite part of that episode is when they are kind of delving into their relationship after they've gone through all this stuff. They're laying in bed, and Scully's kind of talking about some of those insecurities that you get when you've been in a relationship for a really long time. I mean, obviously
because
they never
somebody
got married.
calls her old.
Right. So she starts, and that's just kind of nice because, like, you didn't get to see as much of that, obviously, in the original show. Now you actually get to see them having a relationship together in certain ways. So that was kind of a nice scene.
Agreed. We have a lot to say about this one.
Well,
Yeah, I really liked it. I can't pick out. I'm just trying to find some other stuff to say about it.
I mean, there really isn't.
It's just a fun episode.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just a classic horror setup.
Yeah,
I'll say
it's
it's
just a
nothing deep,
standalone.
but it was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the cold open features a song from David Duchovny's debut album.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that.
I'm on the Wikipedia,
Good job.
so I guess that could be wrong, but
No, it probably wasn't.
it's probably right. And, yeah.
Seems about right timing-wise. So that was +1. Now we get to The Lost
Sheesh.
Art of Forehead Sweat. This one is written by Darren Morgan,
Oh my
a favorite
gosh.
X-Files writer, where the agents meet Reggie something Murgatroyd and explore the Mandela effect,
I mean, they've
not the
already met
Mingle
him.
effect.
He's been in all the seasons, right?
Sure, if you believe the Mandela Mingle effect.
I mean,
Are you going to start proffering that truth and now everybody must believe it?
I mean,
No evidence?
for me, the best part of that episode, and like I was dying laughing, is just Skinner walking in at the very end. Oh, where are they taking Reggie? Like it was like the perfect punchline for that entire episode.
And the camera lands on their faces.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a mention of Reggie. They pulled that scene from the very first or second season. That was a real scene.
It was very funny. I really enjoyed that.
It does. I don't think it hits the Darren Morgan of the original seat. Like,
Yeah,
oh
it's-
my gosh, all the ones he did from the original ones. Are
I
way
even
up
like
there.
his from the 10th season better than this one.
Yeah.
That's the one with the
were.
The Were Monster.
Yeah, that's right. Reese Darby's is
Yes.
the and
Mhm.
Kumail's in it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I like that one better. I think this was a really fun way. Chris Carter has tried to do things in the past for the fans, like that one FBI agent that comes in a season 9 episode more than twice. Like they're not accountant. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I
She
feel
was
like-
like in billing or something, and
Mhm,
later an FBI.
and I think
agent.
she gets the Apollo 11 medal or the
Yeah, she
dime
does.
penny fuse thing.
I can't
Something
even
I don't
remember
know.
her name right now.
But that was like an obvious, this is something the fans will enjoy thing. Whereas this just felt like a really good episode that just happened to like give us these other scenes that we liked and remind us why we like the X-Files, and it was just a lot of fun.
I mean, there's just like lots of moments when he first walks in and he's been out like Sasquatching or Squatching. He said, she's like, I just think you like to say that.
She's right.
Or just like there's other because there was the one moment where he's like searching for the one episode and he's like confusing the Twilight Zone with the Outer Limits. Do you even know me? Like,
Yeah, that was
just
so
all
meta.
I mean, he just does comedy so well.
He
and they
does.
don't get as many chances to do it.
Well, again, they just went back to a lot of that banter that made us love those characters from the original seasons, which they just had a little bit of time to do in season 10, but it just felt a lot more like the X-Files again this season, to me.
Because Mulder and Scully weren't really together in season 10.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and they were still tentative about it even here until maybe the second half, but you got to see the build this time, I think, is kind of what Hilary is saying. You see the actual, instead of the lurches forward that they made in season 9, and then sort of the split in the movie in season 10, you actually get to see them organically come back together.
Or like
in a
when he's
believable
like,
way.
I'm Fox freaking Mulder, you punk! in the parking garage.
Or like when it's flashing back
I mean,
to him as a
that's a-
kid watching that, and it's the little kid body with Mulder's
his
head.
Oh,
head.
yeah. Oh, my God.
That was hilarious. No, I liked that Outer Limits Twilight Zone line because that's what the show was compared to when it first came on. So
I mean, there's just so many
All the
laughs
details.
per
There was lots
scene
of detail.
in that episode. I can't even remember half of them. It's one I'm going to have to go back and watch like 3 more times.
I mean, they did the theme song a cappella. It was hilarious. I mean, just everything about it. I mean, it was supposed to be funny. There were a couple people, of course, on the internet that didn't get it. That's always going to happen. But it was, I mean, it was just, I thought it was pretty clever.
That actor, Brian Husky,
He's in so many things.
yeah,
he's in
like,
so many things, but you know what? He's in that commercial with Justin Timberlake. where
yeah, he is.
He's putting that raspberry blueberry thing in his mouth.
Yeah,
I
raspberry.
raspberry, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, the funny thing is, I've seen him in so many
Shout out to
things.
JT.
But now when I see him in something, I automatically go, "Oh, hey, it's Reggie."
Yeah.
Like I think he's gonna be that character forever for me now.
Oh, I think he can make a living at conventions.
Yes.
Probably. And it's Reggie something. Only his last name is Murgatroyd. And what's the punchline? He's a lifelong bureaucrat that's gone crazy. That to me gave me some laughs. Having
Yeah.
been a bureaucrat for a while. So
Well, and then the alien at the end talking about building a wall between space and Earth because people suck and they lie, and clearly making some very not subtle political references.
oh, they did that all season.
I know they did, but that one, it was just so satirical and just in your... I mean, Dr. Day is wearing a Make America Great Again hat in that picture when he's on top of the statue. So, it's just funny. It was just very funny and clever. Good job.
Yeah, but they definitely don't shy away from how the situation the FBI's in real life right now.
Yes.
Well,
Right?
that's
Is it
what I-
this season that Mulder says?
Yeah.
I wonder something about them getting a taste of their own medicine now. All of the FBI is the outsider or something. I forget
Yeah,
what he says,
yeah.
but
Well, I love that. I love that they're one of the things that they have done over these 2 seasons is to acknowledge that the world they're in is different from the world when the series started, and that there's a very real-time aspect to it, so you can almost believe the things that we see could actually be happening in the world, tying it back to, I mean, when the X-Files first started, government conspiracies and alien, kidnappings and stuff, there was a whole culture around that because nobody knew. This was before social media, a really fleshed out internet, people were using all kinds of other means to suspect that there were conspiracies and government corruption. Now it's on full display. So, and being investigated. This is not political, it's just facts.
Nobody's disputing.
Okay, anything else you want to say about Forehead
No.
just another good episode this season.
Okay, so then we move to Ghoulie. Ghoulie is where they discover Jackson Vandekamp, who, as it turns out, is William. In exploration of his extraterrestrial powers, he convinces 2 girls he's seeing to attack each other after projecting a vision of a monster called Ghoulie to each of them, And Scully is experiencing shared visions with her son, which kind of leads her and Mulder to him. What did you think about this
I
episode?
guess it just wasn't clear why he made them see
I was going to say, it didn't make him seem like a very good
He
guy.
was not a likable character
No.
for most
He
of
was
that
dating
episode.
2 girls at
Yeah,
the
he
same
was
time.
being
then
a
he's-
true...
Grossly
Finish that
irresponsible
sentence.
use.
I was just gonna say, I mean, he's just being that stereotypical, like, overly cocky teenage boy. And he's taking full advantage of his Professor Xavier-like powers-ish. With the
Which-
whole making people see stuff.
And having those powers probably would give you a full head or a big head.
Yes.
And it's like the whole story of the Invisible Man is that you would go mad with power because you
Right.
can be invisible. So I can see that. Like, that makes logical sense, but for this character that I think we're supposed to like and follow,
Yeah. Well, so
I
Well,
think
maybe
it kind of
then,
hurt.
that, and
then
they
maybe
established he
cigarette
did it.
smoking man is his dad.
But then everybody they talk to talks about how good Jackson is and how he's such a good kid and everybody likes him. But then it's like, not based on anything I've seen.
Well, maybe he's messing with their brains and they aren't seeing what he's really doing.
Right.
Maybe he's manipulating them with his powers. I don't know. I did enjoy the episode, but there was a point where I'm like, well, I hope this isn't William. I hope William's a better person.
That's where I was. And then I was actually kind of expecting it to not be William, but then it turned out to be William.
Well, and it wouldn't have been far off for the show to be like, nope, that wasn't William. But
Right.
they actually gave him to us. He's a pretty prominent character now.
Well, not only that, but it kind of undercuts somewhat. So Scully in this episode gives this extremely powerful emotional speech when she's staring at what we think is William's corpse, but it's not because he's just projecting that into her mind. And she's, basically apologizing for failing him as a mother, which is still powerful, but it almost felt like it would have been a slightly more powerful thing if he had not been William in the moment. That she was just apologizing to this kid who represented all the kids, for her. Yeah, I still liked the episode a lot, mainly because of the path that the agents were on. But yeah, William was...
It's a good episode for Mulder and Scully, but
Yeah, exactly.
he just wasn't as likable as we probably all expected.
They didn't do too much. I mean, the actual monster of the week that was a projection of his mind was very underplayed, so...
Mm-hmm.
But that's what the episode was named for.
And all the advertisement, so that's why I thought it was just going to be a Monster of the Week
Yeah,
about that creature, which the opening was good and it was creepy and very X-Files-y, but
it took a different path. That's all.
Looks like you're thinking thoughts, Hilary.
I am.
Why are you holding them back?
I just don't have a place to insert it, so I was just not saying it. But either way, yeah, I still like the episode too. I don't know. William was fine to me, but yeah, I guess he could be, well, we'll find out. We'll see what happens. Again, nothing's really set in stone, I don't think, yet.
That's for later in the discussion.
Yeah.
Sarah, you're quiet.
I already said the thing about, I just didn't really see why you're dating 2 girls. Just don't. Why is he,
or why it's funny to make them
stab
see-
each
yeah.
other? There was a disconnect there for me.
Yeah.
It would have been better if it was like he couldn't control it and he didn't know he was doing that, so it manifested as their jealousy or
Or like he tapped into their fears and didn't
right,
know he
and
was...
didn't know and couldn't. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there was a point where I kind of thought that's where it might be going. But,
Yeah, it did not.
or again, hoping it was going in some weird direction like that.
So it wasn't my favorite episode, but again, I enjoyed watching that one.
Yeah,
There was only one episode that I didn't really like this season.
I'm wondering if we're all going to agree on that, but we'll move on.
Okay.
So the next episode is Kitten. This features special guest star Haley Joel Osment, who once saw dead people, where Skinner tracks down a former member of his Vietnam platoon who was potently exposed to a biochemical agent and became murderous as a result of it because he kept hallucinating things, only to find his equally disturbed son carrying on those same activities.
So there's aspects of this that were annoying because I don't feel like at this point we ever need to retread whether or not we trust Skinner.
Yeah.
Like, that almost seemed like a slap in the face to the fans that it would even be possible that we don't trust Skinner.
Except that we already saw his earlier scenes where the CSM basically coerced him into helping him again. So I think
But
that's what they were playing.
I guess I
We've
found
seen-
those
we've seen
annoying
him-
too.
Yeah, we've seen enough of Skinner to know that he's not going to, even if he's backed in a corner, he'll find another way to help them. And he's not that shady guy from the first couple seasons where we didn't know.
Right, but what I'm saying is I think they used that as the setup for this episode. I mean, that might have been where Mulder and Scully were, but I don't think that was necessarily the entire point on it.
I liked that Kirsch was in this.
Yeah, Kirsch came back.
Took some time off from Grey's Anatomy.
Sure
to
did.
grace us with his presence.
He's like, sure, I'll revisit that character. Why not? I'm tired of playing this other one for 15
Tired of being
seasons.
Chief Weber.
And even though we see him in the original finale, like, coming to Mulder's side or aid, like, it seemed like, oh, he's back to how he was, but I think he even makes a comment about the current climate and how I'm sure would be stressful for everyone in that position right now, and it's bringing out his inner grumpy. Like the FBI in real life is dealing with enough. He doesn't have time for Mulder and Scully and Skinner shenanigans, so I can at least buy that a little bit. But I do want to see him helping them, because we do know he got to that point, unless we just ignore the last episode.
I mean, I hope not.
Me too.
Okay.
So other than those Skinner moments, I enjoyed the episode. I don't think Sarah recognized that was Haley Joel Osment.
I didn't?
I don't know. Maybe you did. It was shocking that he was in it, but
I'm just also just happy they gave him an episode, because when they announced they were bringing him back for last season, and then he was in it for like minutes, it was nice that they actually gave him something and fleshed out a little more of his Vietnam experiences, since it's something that they've talked about before.
Well, this was the episode that I didn't really like, so.
I was going to say, I thought your original reaction was that you wish that a little bit more had happened just because you love Skinner so much. Like, it felt a little anticlimactic.
Well, they had him get captured
Yeah.
quick and then spend a lot of it out of commission.
So-
But it was still nice that it was like focused, like he was the focus of the episode.
Yeah, you were just excited to have more Skinner. He just
I'm
really,
not ashamed.
he really likes Mitch Pileggi. He really likes that character. If you're listening,
Why didn't you like this one as much, Sarah?
I just thought it was kind of boring. I just wasn't really that into it, I guess. Sorry.
I was
Sorry,
gonna say,
guys.
on the list of their threats, a crazy kid isn't very high up there for Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
I know he seems like a kid, but Haley Joel
I am.
Osment's 30.
Yeah.
he just has a baby face.
I mean, he was once 11 and saw dead people. And even younger and was young Forrest Gump. But it doesn't, he's
also-
older now.
I don't love...
Do we know how he got involved with it? Because I don't.
He's a big nerd.
He just loves
He's
X-Files.
friends with like
Well, he
Kamal
just-
Nanjiani. He does their podcast
Oh,
with them and stuff.
so they're just a fan.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's how it came about, because he podcasts about X-Files too.
he does.
Yeah, on Kumal's, because Kumal Nanjiani has his own
Yeah,
X-Files
he's like
podcast.
super
I
obsessed
feel
with
like I've
X-Files.
Like Kevin Smith and Haley Joel Osment, they're all friends, and they all.
I didn't realize that they podcasted together, but I
didn't
knew
know he
Kunal
ever
was
did
super...
any episodes of the X-Files files.
This is a cool group. I want to be friends with them.
Well, yeah, they haven't been doing a podcast since Kumail got real busy.
Yeah, Silicon Valley and all that.
And the Big Sick.
I just don't
And being in the X-Files.
Yes.
love war
Sure.
stuff. I mean, I don't like watching movies about wars and
Me neither.
stuff. It's shocking that I like MASH so much.
It is.
I don't know why, but
They don't show as much blood on it.
they really don't show like combat
So
or
they put it
anything.
into a much different context.
Yes, and those people are help. I don't know.
It's just the medical
It's
aspect,
just
really.
not my favorite. I didn't hate this. It's not my top 10 worst list ever. Like the one episode, the little guy on the cart who goes inside you and the pooping guy. I don't like that one at all. And I don't.
That is, in fact, still gonna always be on my worst.
Yeah, that one.
That is a Kathy Griffin
David
episode.
Duchovny said, they asked him what his least favorite episode was, and he said that one.
What is that
Oh,
one
he
called?
watched it?
Troika?
He wasn't even in it.
What is that one called?
Is it Troika?
No. Oh, shoot.
He didn't remember the episode. He's like, what was the one with the little guy that...
He totally did. He said that at
Yeah.
the panel. That yeah.
That
at
makes me feel
Comic-Con
like
that
he
I
might
got
have
to see.
actually watched it.
Who said this?
David
David
Duchovny.
Duchovny. He said it at
That's
the
his
panel.
least favorite.
He's
of
not
all
in it.
X-Files.
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
That
So,
is tough.
This one's way better than that one.
Sure. Easy. I liked it. I mean, I'm back on the. You described the +1 as solid, not your favorite. That's how I feel about Kitten. I agree with Kyle. I liked the glimpses into Skinner's backstory. I don't generally love war. I do like Haley Joel Osment. I wasn't bothered by them questioning Skinner again, just because. Well, here's the other thing though. It's been how many years since the series finale, and they've had the 2 movies, but only one in the middle, and that one in the middle wasn't very good. I think over the course of a decade, they can checkpoint each other at times and say, are you still on our side? And that's basically what they were doing here.
They're just all supposed to be best friends and happy all the time.
I see. There's got to be conflict sometimes. I thought they handled it well, and they didn't, dwell on it. And that's all that really mattered.
They do, for a cast member, spend very little time with Skinner in these 2 seasons. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he was the main thing bringing people along. That we lost Duchovny, but at least Skinner is going to be a cast member in season. I agree with Kyle. More Skinner.
Fair enough. Now, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce this next time.
It's base 64 code for followers.
Get out!
I will not because I live here.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
And then they had
That's a
the
lot of
base
research.
64. The tagline on this one was "The truth is out there," but it was written in base 64.
It was. Okay,
What's
cool.
base 64?
It's a programming
A
language.
programming code, yeah.
Yeah, so
the
basically,
robots.
followers written in this language is an episode where a date for Mulder and Scully at a fully automated sushi restaurant, that is, it's all robots, people, become a battle with technology and progressively thoughtful artificial intelligence. What'd you think of this one?
Well, first, sushi's gross.
No, what?
The sushi in the episode was gross, that's for damn sure.
No, I don't need sushi in my
I was
life.
just thinking how much I wanted sushi, like legit, as we were talking.
Whoa.
I don't make it.
But this episode was awesome. I loved it.
I loved it.
This was my favorite of the season.
This was up there
Really
for me.
favorite?
Yes.
Okay.
Of the season. Of the season.
I understand what you
Yeah.
said. I
More
heard all your
shocking
words.
revelations.
This one was up there for me. I thought it was brilliant that they didn't even talk for like the first 15 minutes of
But
the episode.
They're so good at playing these characters, and I don't know who wrote this episode, but
It's 2 women, Shannon Hamblin and Kristen Cloak.
Made me happy. I was proud.
they still have
I was
those
proud.
Mulder and Scully moments with very minimalistic dialogue.
Including, I'm wondering if Scully, so there's the blobby fish that he gets.
Yeah.
A blobfish.
Yeah, blobfish. And when she comes out, it's very much Jillian's laugh that comes through. I wonder how much of that was scripted, because I felt it was very natural, like they were really laughing.
Or just a good director who knew how to let them play.
Yeah, that could be too.
Ooh, the restaurant was called Forawa, which in Japanese translates to follower.
Whoa! There's a whole theme going
I
on.
don't know if I pronounced that correctly. It's katana Japanese. That's cool.
That is cool. There's a
Right.
whole
Attention to
thing
detail.
going on. I know.
It's something the X-Files needed to address, I think. Automation and...
Yeah. How about reliant we are becoming more so on technology from when the series first started.
And a hilariously satirical Ben
Yes.
that included automated driving and Scully saying, "Slow down! Stop the car!"
Yeah.
I still don't feel like... Okay, Mulder was being mean to the sushi robots, but I don't think Jillian
Yeah.
did anything
Yeah.
wrong in that car.
Yeah.
They just needed something to go after her.
Well,
when
she
they
told
were
her she
separate.
didn't want to talk. She said,
Yeah,
I don't want to
I was
have...
just trying to be
Yeah, it
friends.
kept
So
asking
Wow.
her for her evaluation, and she said, "No, no."
So maybe that was annoying. I mean, he was kind of rude to the robot chefs, but... I don't know.
He didn't tip them, right?
Yeah, but...
Or he ignored it.
I think he was just not tipping them because they were robots.
And they didn't give him
That's-
the right order.
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
didn't
saying-
Yeah, they gave him blobby fish.
Oh.
That's racist. Nick just said it was racist.
That they're robots.
That's my favorite thing. So funny.
I don't think that's how it works.
Sorry, I'm from
I
Star
mean-
Trek world. Data's a sentient human.
I
No.
Not a human. He's a sentient.
think my favorite part is just like when he goes to her house to save her, and then he just stops for a moment. He's like, "Why is your house so much nicer
So
than
than mine.
I know, that was funny.
That is a nice house, though.
Yeah.
All windows and
Yeah,
stuff. And it
but
was all
so
automated.
automated, though.
I don't know if I'd like all those windows. It's
It
scary.
depends on where it is. If it's literally in a neighborhood like ours where there's a house.
But wouldn't she already feel
everywhere.
like everyone's always watching her all the time?
I don't know. She's less paranoid than he is, but still.
I don't know.
got
She's
this-
always the one that was getting taken, not him.
I got the sense it
He
Got
was
made
taken
it
like
once
a-
for a long, long time.
It's true.
I like how she got the massager, in the mail, and she put it in her pocket, and they forgot that they had all, like, they threw away their devices, and then that was in her pocket. And
by
he was like, really?
We mean...
What, was it a vibrator? I don't know what it was.
vibrator.
And he was like, really? That's what you have that?
And that's an awesome twist on it's usual, because it's usually Mulder who has the weird
Yes,
sex
it
thing.
is!
Yeah.
Maybe
And she
they're
was like,
rubbing
I
off
didn't
on
even
each other.
order, like, I don't even...
For example.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It was very, for it being such not a lot of dialogue, it was just very, they well acted the action again. Like I was saying from that last episode. They were just really on top of it.
But if this was just a concept for a Black Mirror and it wasn't Mulder and Scully, I think it would still be a really good episode.
Yeah, but it's better because they're
Okay.
And they did all those moments so well. Yeah,
Do you know
it's
who
really
the writer? I read their names: Shannon Hamblin and Kristen Cloak. Kristen Cloak is Glenn Morgan's wife, and she was in The Field Where I Died.
And I love that.
So that's
Me too.
I like that episode too, but
That's
it's one of the
my
least
favorites.
favorites.
And she was the.
And I don't know why other people hate it. It's
to the
actually
point where
really
FX
smart.
wouldn't air it when it
I
was in
know,
syndication.
but
That's
it's-
crazy.
Oh, my favorite.
So
Yeah.
the lead girl, Melissa from that, wrote this episode.
Well,
Wow.
she did a good
Good
job.
job.
She
She
did
and
a
her
great
friend
job.
Shannon. I don't know you, Shannon, but you seem nice.
I
Good job.
really enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
that's all the... I almost want to rewatch it because you brought out these Easter eggs, and I want to figure out if there's more followers stuff in it. It was really good. I
Yeah,
really
this one
liked
stands out amongst
It does.
all 11 seasons.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd
I'm just
put it
saying,
out of 10.
the points it was trying to make was good. I mean, they were not subtle. Again, it was be courteous and, put down your damn phone for a while. But
And also tip your waiters.
yes, please do. But it was just nice. It was a nice way to tie it all
I am
together.
a big tipper, but holy cow, I didn't even get the right food.
That's true. I wouldn't
But
be mean to the
people
manager.
make mistakes, though.
I would true.
So do robots.
As long as you eventually bring me the right food,
Right.
you're gonna
give
get a
me
good tip.
The right food.
But if you're like, no thanks, you eat that, I'm gonna be like,
then you
peace
don't
out.
get a tip. Yeah, I have to agree with that.
I mean, most
Maybe
restaurants would make you
maybe
pay
the
for
robots aren't making a living wage.
That's true. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I don't know.
that.
I'm just saying.
They probably are getting paid less than minimum wage. Just like human wages.
Maybe they're just living on tips. Maybe tips is how they run because they can.
Throw the robot a couple bucks. You would saved yourself a lot of trouble.
Well, in the end, that's what he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And
And that's
everything
the
was
lesson we
fine.
learned. Tip your waiters. No matter who they are. If it's a dog, tip the waiter.
Will they attack you? Will they run out after you? What do you
Maybe.
think, Kyle?
He's on his phone. He's on his phone.
He's on Wikipedia. He's looking
I
up.
was looking up the next episode.
Also, technology
What
probably
came
will eventually
after.
turn on us.
Well, the Terminator movies tell us that.
Yes, exactly.
It's inevitable.
We could just hit the singularity first where we become...
There was a Doctor Who episode 2 that were technology
It's a
turned.
fairly standard sci-fi trope.
I mean, at this point, it's so much part of our lives. Now it just really makes sense.
Next!
Anyways, that was a good episode.
Excellent. Thumbs up. Next episode is Familiar. This is when Mulder and Scully investigate a sleepy Connecticut town where children
Mr.
have been
Chuckleteeth.
murdered
Oh my god.
and there's witchcraft.
I
This-
forgot about this
I had
one.
sent Kylie like a Mr. Chuckleteeth gift, and she's like, "I'm not there yet. I don't want to get. What is this?" And I'm like, "Mr. Chuckleteeth."
That was
Agree.
awesome.
That's a little
That,
Stephen King
that
homage,
episode
right?
was very well directed. Like, it felt like a full-blown horror movie.
It
Like,
did.
on a
I
TV
really
budget,
loved
and it
it.
was good.
I
it
really loved
reminded
it.
me of like
I
something
liked
from season
Mr.
2.
Chuckleteeth.
It was directed by a woman named
Sarah.
Holly Dale.
It's like a pop-up video.
Okay, to the young
Dated
kids out there, pop-up video is also from the 90s.
Please bring it back. I love that
I
show.
loved pop-up video. I loved it.
They don't need pop-up video. You just pull it up on your second screen already. Could be an app. Never mind.
Bring back the bloops, Nick. The bloops.
Nobody watches VH1 anymore. though.
I would if they had pop-up video.
You know what bugged me about this episode? Well, what it was supposed to bug you is how they just like assume it was the sex offender, and then they like
Yeah.
attack him. I was like, oh.
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, they definitely,
More
Turned
social
the-
and political commentary a little
Yeah.
bit.
while still mirroring it to something that really happened, which were witch hunts in
Yeah.
the late 18th century. So they basically turned it into a modern day witch hunt, but then the witch in question was a sex offender. So to me, that was pretty brilliant.
because a lot of the underlying themes is that some of this stuff, that there is still a lot of things that maybe seem dated but are still in many ways very relevant to the here and now, sadly, right?
She says awkwardly.
Because it's sad to think of that.
Stunted
This
grin.
was written by Benjamin Van Allen.
I just want to follow some of these writers from this season because
Yeah.
they've done really good jobs and they probably are doing other good TV somewhere.
Mr. Chuckleteeth was on a show that was very like the Teletubbies. Are they still on?
Teletubbies?
Yes.
I think they're back. I think they
Yeah,
were
I think
off
they
for
were
a
gone,
while,
and
and now
there's
they're
a new
rebooted because we have to
I mean,
reboot everything.
With the
Why?
internet, nothing's gone.
Yeah, my
Well-
children don't watch them,
Good.
so
Good.
they're a little bit more sophisticated. Watching the Furchester, you know.
Well, they watched Sesame Street. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean the
Furchester
Furchester's
is
a
a Sesame
spin-off.
Street
Oh,
spin-off.
I didn't know that.
Elmo and
That's
We could
that's more than
podcast about it.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can
okay.
cover that later.
Well, that'll be on our children's arm, and you're
Okay.
in charge of it.
Jack and Eli have much to say about it.
I agree. So familiar. It
Yeah.
was familiar. There was a play on a word there.
Good
It was just kind of fun that they did a little more witch. I mean, they didn't really do a lot of witchcraft. They did everything else in the original seasons, but not a lot of witchcraft stuff. So that was
there was
kind
like a really
Sanguinarian.
Yeah, that's the only one that
That's
comes
right.
to mind.
I'm
Just a
super
couple.
excited to see Kyle's Mr. Chuckleteeth cosplay.
I
really
there's
wanna
already
make
pictures
that.
from
I would
from
love-
conventions.
I mean, as soon as the episode aired, people
Aw, I
were
don't
planning
wanna
out
see
and
it.
like mapping it out and getting ready.
I
And
don't like creepy doll things. That's why this one works.
Have you seen
Just
Annabelle
like
yet?
Chinga. Huh?
Annabelle, the
No.
movie.
She doesn't watch anything
I know. I mean,
in the horror genre.
I will say, as a kid, that's what scared me the most. Basically, anything that can hide behind a couch while standing.
Chucky.
Plus, she's a
Chucky,
she's
the
demonic.
leprechaun, all those things.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Basically, Night of the
Why are
Living
you watching
Dead.
The X-Files?
And American Horror Story.
Well,
Contradictions.
question. Why can't we just say I'm growing, but I'm just not?
Oh, you want to test out more?
places?
Anyways, I'll stop picking on you. Going back to that, I like that part when they're in the woods and there's like classic Mulder, because he's like totally pointing out, like he immediately realizes that it's witchcraft and the salt circle and everything, and Scully's going back to her usual like, this is sounding a little far-fetched there, Mulder. That whole scene was nice just because even though obviously she's probably a lot less skeptical than she used to be, there's still moments where she's like, okay.
Well,
Still felt natural to me.
yeah, and his brain automatically
Goes
there,
to that. Yeah, he knows.
whereas hers won't ever. So
Right,
it's really
and he's
fun.
obviously spent a lot of time studying it and whatnot, so of course he's going to automatically figure it out.
I knew it was witchcraft.
It is nice to see those moments. Since she was brought to the X-Files to debunk him, he needed her to actually, honestly, because he's biased towards that stuff. So
He
it's-
is.
He needs her.
She challenges him.
Balance.
She makes sure that he's really following the truth. Familiar.
Great
2 thumbs
episode.
up.
I think I
And
just might rewatch this season.
I like that it came after an episode that was pretty funny with the robots, and then it went to like a very dark,
More serious, yeah.
So
The season was laid out well. Like,
It was laid out well.
Yeah.
Ups and downs.
writing, acting, directing, and then whoever was like, this is the order of the episodes.
I mean, I
Did a
don't think
great
I
job.
expected it to be the cop's wife at the beginning of the episode.
Oh yeah. I had no
I
expectations.
mean, I started to get steered in that direction, but it definitely led me for a while, which is kind of nice. Not a lot of things do that.
It
as
actually
often.
kind of felt almost kind of Stephen King-like.
Yeah, it was. It was homaging it
Mm-hmm.
a little bit.
But better than the Stephen King episode.
Chinga.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Also creepy doll.
Yes. No hokey
I
pokey.
still like
this
that
one.
episode. I like it, Stephen King.
Look, I like Stephen King stuff. I just don't like
You should
the
watch
doll.
Castle Rock.
I want to play. Somebody requested that.
Kyle's obsessed with it now,
I think
too.
Sarah mentioned
Oh,
I think I
yeah.
mentioned it too.
I'm going to watch it when it's all done.
It's-
I also just like the fact that Scully's hair changed, which is obviously something that's very poignant from the original seasons. Her hair would change all the time. Her hair was long at the beginning, and then she got it cut. And then in the next episode, there's...
so shallow, Hilary.
Did you
I'm
get
just
your
saying it's...
haircut?
Yeah, he go...
Really?
Are you kidding me? That's in the
I
next
did
episode.
forget that moment, but
It's
it was
good.
Yeah.
So speaking of the next episode, it's called Nothing Lasts Forever. This is where a child star from the 60s and her doctor lover consume the organs of young people who also happen to follow them like a cult in order to reverse the aging process. And one of the cult members' sisters decides to enact divine retribution in a very Joan of Arc-like way to rescue her sister.
This is the episode that Kylie didn't like.
It is the episode that
Her
Kylie
tone
didn't
is
like.
very not subtle.
This episode, so if it had stuck with the sister and something a little bit different that she was trying to get involved in exacting her divine retribution, I would have liked it better. I struggled through this one. It was, to me, kind of boring. I had a really hard time not pausing the episode and like getting up and going to do other things. But I also just, it was very, very slow. I get what they were going for. They also did reverse aging with sanguinarium. That's what I thought of again, so right after Familiar.
When they were ramping, like all the advertisements for this one, they were playing up like a vampire angle, like they're making it look like that the sister was like a modern Van Helsing. So I was like really excited for another vampire episode because there've been a couple.
Yeah, again, not a lot as much of vampire. There's a
and then
couple,
it turned out in the cult, which like I didn't hate, but I mean
they were,
a
like,
quirky, weird cult. I mean it felt very X-Files-y, but it wasn't their strongest villains ever.
And they were sewing them to her.
Yeah.
That reminded me of I Want to Believe, with like the two-headed
Oh
dog.
yeah, it was very similar
I
to
was
those
like-
weird experiments.
Which maybe they were doing that deliberately, I don't know, but
I didn't mind this episode because it stuck with me. Like, I really remember it. That doesn't mean I want to watch it again right now.
It's probably not. Yeah, it's not my favorite of the season. I would agree.
I would just still say, and I know I've kind of already said this, there's a lot of good Mulder and Scully because like there's like she's in the church in it, and they haven't really talked about, you know, all of her faith and her religious beliefs in a spell, and so again it's back there, and you know, her thinking about, you know, does she believe in miracles, does she not believe in miracles, which obviously sets up for the last episode a little bit, but you know, and Mulder just basically saying that, you know, he's still going to stick with her. You know, it's just showing how their relationship is advanced.
Agreed.
Along with their age and, you know, just everything that they've been through.
And I loved all those parts.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if anything, I mean, yeah, maybe they weren't the strongest villains. The actors are good. What's that actor?
Jerry Burns.
Yeah,
from
he's so
Justified.
great in everything.
He's
but
in a lot.
He is in a ton of stuff. He's a great actor, but were they super strong characters? But I don't think they were necessarily meant to be. They were just meant to be kind of that
Weird
cheeky.
and
Yeah, because they did episodes like that more often in the back half seasons of the original show, but I mean, I get your points though too. Like,
I just wish that the half with the church and the sister character were tied to something else than the cult and the sewing together
I
thing.
bet some of those people wish they were tied to something
Yeah,
else other than another person.
Probably.
I
Well,
like
except
how-
they thought they were
Yeah.
ascending to greater things.
Because people be stupid.
Generally, generally cult members aren't thinking with all faculties.
True day.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, but again, of the 10, this one would probably be number 10 for me, except for the last scene. The last scene was the best part when they're talking at the candles.
What episode is this in the run of the season?
9.
Okay.
So then we get to the last My Struggle, 4, and they're basically trying to find William again because William's on the run. Ever since agents bore down on him in Ghoulie, he picked up that stuff was about to happen, so he ran away. And Mulder found him in this episode. What do we think of it?
Well, a lot of things happen.
yeah, there was a lot of information that you got in like a 5 to 10 minute period.
If it is the last episode ever of the X-Files, I feel like it doesn't
tie
doesn't
up
work
enough.
for me as the last episode of
Agreed.
this
I just don't think
series.
I don't think it's gonna be like we were saying before we started recording. I know Jillian says a lot. I mean, she does make a lot of like very, very straightforward statements about what she's going to do and what she's not going to do, but she does tend to change her mind. That's why we've even gotten this season 11, because she even said at Comic-Con, the one that I went to and got to meet him, that in the panel, she said there wasn't going to be a season 11. Well, there was. So, I mean, either way, it sets it up that they could keep going.
Yeah, now she preggers.
I was saying, now they have if she doesn't want to do it, they have a reason why she they just don't have to show her. Like, you could have Mulder reference that she's at home or whatever.
But we tried that. We tried it the opposite way in season 9, and it didn't work. I really feel if they're going to do the X-Files, they need both of them.
And that's what Chris Carter said.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Except I used to agree. They were saying if we're ever going to bring the X-Files back, it needs to be Chris Carter, David Duchovny, and Gillian Anderson. And I would argue you don't need Chris Carter anymore. I think he's done his work to get us to bring us the show.
Or at least to showrun, he doesn't have to write and direct anything. I hope you're right. They're still on the convention circuit, apparently, both of them, and it seems to me...
Which she also said she wasn't going to do.
Right.
It seems like a fun way to make money. Do conventions.
They have a lot of fun when they're together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really
I wish
kind of
they
cute.
were dating in real life. Because they have got, I mean, there was a time when they didn't get along. No, they clearly are past that, and it's cute. And
When didn't they get along? At the beginning?
That was a little more rumored, but like...
Well, no, they confirmed it.
They confirmed that
Kimmel
they pretty much said, like, when you're spending that many days and hours, like,
a
you
lot
start
of
to
night
write,
shoots, there was a lot of
you
night
don't have any
shoots
time
happening.
away from each other.
And it was so big. It was so massively
Well,
popular.
because it did. It started off a little slow, and then it like exploded in popularity. And I don't think they were ever full. I mean, they've said they were never fully expecting that to happen. So
Right. So I think it really came down to pressure cooker, plus they each had started families, and they just spent all their time together, shared most of the scenes together. It just got to be a point where almost brother-sister snipey stuff, but then they went off on their separate ways for a while, and then the rest, as they say, is history. So now they're here, and they're cute, and I like them, and Jillian is very waffly, but...
she's just a little eccentric.
And you go to the press. Don't go to the press with your strong statements. Now everybody thinks the X-Files is canceled. But Fox has not said it's canceled, but the Fox president said, but there's no plans to make another season at this time. It's all very confusing. But I would agree with Nick, if this is the last one forever, A, it doesn't hold a candle to the truth, and B, it's not a good signing off.
I mean,
So,
I feel like they also think they gave us, this time the cigarette smoking man is dead.
Well, if he survived an explosion,
But
With
yeah.
his face melting off. And
how
then
do
just
we
getting
know he
shots.
wasn't wearing a bulletproof vest?
Well, this is why I think he's dead. I don't think the actor will be coming back just because he's older. Yeah, by the time whenever they do a season 12, I think...
I mean, he's already limited in what he can do. Like, that's why they shoot him in certain ways, and usually in a chair. And
he has been having
He's
a hard
80.
time.
He is 80.
He's been sick for a while.
That's not that old compared to Harrison Ford.
He's not
doing
like-
Indiana Jones
But like
again.
we saw him just a couple years ago.
Harrison Ford 80?
He's
No,
76.
he's 76, though.
Stop!
and they're going to be filming a new Indiana Jones in 2 years when he's almost 80.
I mean...
Was she
But
not
that's-
here for that
No,
part?
she wasn't.
Oh.
That's why we were talking about it? No.
No.
I don't
We were talking about it because she wasn't here.
Well, because she went upstairs.
Reyes is dead.
Is she?
Skinner
It
shoots...
seems like she got shot right in the forehead.
Skinner shot him.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah,
I
they
guess.
listed her as dead.
I
I'm
was
okay
still-
with her. She can be dead, and then they
And
can bring Krychek back.
Skinner was a question mark. He's wedged under the
Doggett,
car.
Scorpion
He
got
was
canceled.
seemingly...
Doggett.
Scorpion did get canceled?
Yeah, it
that's
did.
why it wasn't.
Yeah,
That's why they
bring
did
John
season 10.
Doggett or Krychek back and leave Monica dead.
Isn't Krychek dead?
He is. He got shot in the head, but
I
doesn't
mean, I
really
know.
matter.
He
at this
did
point.
Yeah,
get
that's
here in the hallucination in the last season, so he's got to
Lordy,
be dead.
Doggett really wanted to do it, but he was busy. But he
Yeah.
really wanted
But
to,
his
so
show
I
got
think
canceled
there would
now.
be a good
Yeah.
chance he would.
Yeah.
He
That
wanted
is-
to. He wanted to really bad. He said he loved being on the X-Files.
I
That's
loved him.
great to hear because he got a rough go. Like, there were some intense fans that were like, "You will never be Mulder." But, because that's how fans can be sometimes.
But he can come on with the two of them, and that would be just fine. See, I guess I didn't register that she got shot.
It was,
Yeah.
I think it was
The editing
horribly...
was- yeah, it was so
That it was
jarring.
quick and...
Like,
And
there was
plus
enough
I
to see that
shocked
she's
because
basically
didn't
dead,
they
but it's...
crash into Skinner with the car.
He
Yes.
ducked under, so he's kind of like...
Yeah, but
wedged
then
under
see
it.
right. you
Here's
see
what
him
here's
wedged
what this
under.
says. As the two chase him through the factory, Skinner realizes they've been followed by Reyes and the cigarette smoking man.
Yeah.
The cigarette smoking man forces the car to run Skinner down. Skinner shoots and kills Reyes and attempts to outrun the car. Skinner is seemingly crushed between two cars.
Yeah.
So we don't really know.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
And Skinner, was Reyes driving? Or was...
Reyes
She was in the
driving.
driver's seat, but he, like, the Cigarette Smoking Man kind
Yeah.
of took control
Yeah.
and forced it forward.
Yeah,
And then they edit it. That's kind of like you see Skinner kind of start to go down, like he's gonna duck, but then they
Yeah, I didn't
Cut to-
realize he fired a gun.
he did.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's.
but it was
very-
it just was not well done. Especially she was a cast member. I feel like there should be more. We should get more out of that death than what they did.
I
She's
don't know.
probably
She's so
not dead.
reviled when she's
Yeah.
probably not dead.
I mean, that's what I said in this genre, multitude of genres. You can always change stuff like that. You
Especially
said it earlier.
with alien DNA.
Yeah.
Look
Right,
what happened
and-
to CSM.
And maybe it's why she was helping him. Maybe she was already something had already happened to
I mean,
her
you're
that she
already-
was keeping him alive.
We're already suspending belief for a lot of other things in the show.
No.
Chris
that's what I
Carter said he's satisfied about this episode being the series finale.
Yeah, I think
What?
he's delusional
You
about the
Chris
X-Files
Carter
at
always
this
says
point.
stuff. Chris Carter should not say stuff. Chris, like you create a great thing. Stop saying stuff. Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's not even a whole lot because, I mean, most of it is still just like them chasing him down. I mean, really, the stuff that matters is the last
Few scenes.
few.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because otherwise it's still just like, yeah,
Like,
William
I-
trying to get away because they say, you know, he knows that he's what everyone's going after, so.
Like, I like the idea that they're getting a second chance to be like normal parents and get what they missed, but everything else in their life is still out there and
Right.
unresolved.
And there's a whole lot of unexplained in that because Scully is A, supposed to be barren, and B, she's not a young woman.
People are having babies a lot later now, Kylie.
She's in her late 40s.
That
I
doesn't...
mean, it's possible. But she was barren first. You forgot that part.
Miracles can happen.
I know. That's what they
Daenerys
set up.
Targaryen keeps saying that she's barren, too.
That is a different show about which we already podcast.
I don't know what show that is.
That's because you won't want to.
What show?
Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Oh,
that
yeah, we know. That
musical chair.
More bad decisions.
The room got suddenly tense.
Anyways, I'm just saying, I'm fine with it. I guess it doesn't...
I mean, if it is the end, it's still better than, like, say, if they had ended with "I Want to Believe" movie.
That's
But
kind
it's-
of
true.
I mean,
Yeah.
so that's how I look at it. Like, it could have ended in a worse place.
That's what I'm feeling like. I'm still feeling like this season 11, even though maybe there are certain aspects that could be stronger, I'm not denying that point, but I'm still saying that comparatively, like with season 9.
Yes,
Like-
it's better than season 9.
Yeah, it's better than
Oh,
season 9. It's still better
And
than
eight.
season 10. It's still better than that movie. So I can still be more satisfied with that.
I like the uptick it's going on. It's on an
Yeah,
uptick.
and it still leaves possibility for those stories again, which I mean what we were left with season 10 wasn't super creative or
Agreed.
strong either. So
And way more cliffhangery. To be
yeah.
fair.
So with that being said, I mean at least there's some sort of you can give some sort of more of an ambiguous thought process as to where it could have gone, whereas with that you were just like, okay. But I still think there's a good chance that she could and I'm not even just saying that out of hopefulness. I just have a feeling, because I know that in her heart she still likes it. She just feels the same way. Probably some other people feel like, man, this has been going on for a long time, and they are getting older, and I'm sure she feels that way. But I still feel that the X-Files being rebooted has been better than a lot of other shows that have been rebooted. So
That's true.
I didn't watch that many shows that have been rebooted.
I've only watched a few, but I also
Watched a handful.
yeah. But I still feel that of the ones that I have, it's probably
the
probably
best.
the strongest. Yeah. And not out of just bias, like just legit.
It's not even really a reboot. It's just
A
A
continuation.
Continuation.
Yeah, that's exactly what
With
it
the
is.
same people. That's really what is the chemistry and the elements that a good reboot
Well,
needs.
I didn't watch Will and Grace, but Kyle said they really erased. Is that
the
true?
finale, yeah.
Yes,
None of it happened.
but the finale was reviled. We have a Will and Grace podcast. Please listen to it. We have a panel. But yes, that ending, the original series
Nobody
finale,
was happy
hated.
with that.
Right. So they kind of did that on purpose. And
Well, that's what because we were talking about it, and she didn't know that, and I was like, oh no, they completely erased that finale.
I mean,
so
honestly,
yeah, it was
you would
all
actually
Karen's
probably like the.
boozy dream. She just woke up from a nap. Done.
What?
Really?
On
I didn't
Will
know
and
that.
Grace,
I
that
didn't
was-
watch the last of it.
We don't watch that show at all, but
I watched it when it was on here. And
Yeah, so in the originals, this is off topic. In the original series finale of Will and Grace, there is the story they tell where Will and Grace basically stop talking to each other
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere for 18 years. They each get
that
married.
just doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, they each get married. They have kids. So what ends up happening is
that would never happen.
Fast forwards, and we see them reuniting in the halls of their alma mater, Columbia University, because their kids are going to go there, and they apparently are living on the same hall, and that's the first time they've reconnected in 18 years. And then there's this weird wipe to the present day again. The four of them are just sitting at a bar drinking and laughing, and then it fades to black. That's the series finale. Very uproarious reaction from longtime fans because A, Will and Grace are too codependent to ever be that far apart, and B, why would any of these four separate that way, and C, that ending was lame. So then they decide to revive the series after a very successful political short where they were telling people to rock the vote for the 2016 presidential election, and they fell into their characters so easily and so effortlessly. The YouTube views on that were in the tens of millions.
Right.
And NBC basically said, okay, let's reboot the show. So in order to kind of not only rewrite that ending, but also an arc on season 8 when Grace was pregnant with Leo's kid, they basically just said it was all a boozy, druggy dream of Karen. She was having a nap and woke up, and they all had a good laugh about it in the season.
So anyway, the X-Files has done it the best.
That's the moral.
I'll agree. I think Roseanne had to just say, "Oh, the last season didn't happen."
Well, they had to, because Dan died.
I know. So without seeing some of those, I feel like this is at least a stronger way to start.
Agreed.
Bringing this show back.
Well, and they didn't have to rewrite anything. They haven't rewritten anything. They've followed their own mythology, mostly. They've done, continuational things off of the stuff they already did, and it's all the same people. I mean, that's really the best way to do it. It's just the same show, just many years later.
Agreed.
How would you rank these episodes? Go.
Okay, so I would rank the one that the 9th episode probably at 10 for me. I think I would put My Struggle 3 at 9. I think I would put the Skinner episode at 8.
Kitten.
Yes. I would put... I don't have those names memorized yet. I think I would put the Ghoulie episode at number 6.
Did you have a 7?
Did I have 7? Then that at 7.
Okay.
I'm losing track of my numbers. I would put episode 3 with Judy at 6, I think.
+1.
Yes. I would put... Okay, my favorite one is the Darren Morgan episode.
Forehead Sweat.
And then I think the Scary Technology episode is my second favorite.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No, okay, I need to backtrack because I would put the My Struggle 4 probably still, before the Judy episode. So, you figure that out.
You figure.
This after that, number 2, episode 2.
This after that.
It's so confusing. Is anybody agreeing with this order-ish?
I have a similar order.
You say yours, because I'm falling apart. I've lost track.
I think, but my number 1 is Followers. We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
The Scary Technology episode.
Yeah.
And then...
Or STT for short.
It's Lost Art of Forehead Sweat might be second, but Familiar is probably pretty close. But I can say that that's
Familiar would
3.
be at 3.
So that's my 1, 2, and 3.
See, it starts getting crazy.
Ooh, Nothing Less Familiar might be 4. The one with Langley.
This
is Langley. Nothing Lasts Forever is the cult with the organs.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I was
this list has it going in the opposite order for some reason. Yes, this is number 4 on my list. I'm not sure what 5 and 6 are, but I know that My Struggle 3 is probably my number 10. My Struggle 4 is number 9. Then the organ one. That's tough. We'll say the organ one. Nothing Lasts Forever is 7. So I just need 5 and 6. You'll all figure it out, guys. Oh, Ghoulie.
See, that's what ends up happening.
Ghoulie is number 5 for me, and Kitten is number 6, the Skinner. I actually feel real good about that.
They were similar. Ours were similar.
So my least favorite was My Struggle 3, so that'd be 10. And then My Struggle 4
That's what I said.
is 9. Then probably Plus 1 is 8.
And then this is that.
Probably this is 7. Ghoulie, 6. Kitten is 5. Oh no, actually Nothing Lasts Forever would probably be. I'd put Kitten.
That's
I like
what I
Kitten
would. My
more.
face was I was waiting to hear where
Yes,
Nothing Lasts Forever was for you.
Yeah. So Nothing Lasts Forever, then Kitten. Pretty much my first one is definitely The Lost Art of the Forehead Sweat, and then my second favorite one is The Robot. And then I'm pretty sure I'm missing one in there somewhere.
Did you say Familiar?
Oh, Familiar I love, so that would be my,
number 3.
That'd be number 3.
So our number 3, like our top 3, coincide.
Which, in our conversation, it sounded like we really liked a lot of these anyway.
I have a hard time in the middle. It's like
Sarah's nodding.
the favorites are very easy, and then the least favorites are very easy. It's hard arranging that middle.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. And we're done. Well,
I have nothing to add. I'll go with mixed then if I have to rank them. I can't rank them. My ranking means nothing because I don't feel that strongly. I liked Followers. And
what was your favorite episode of the season?
Followers.
What was your least favorite?
Kitten.
Whoa.
Well, she said that. She
Yeah.
said she
Yeah,
said it was boring and
Everything
she didn't take
else-
anything away from it, and she doesn't like war.
Yeah, but I didn't hate it. I don't. It's not on my worst list.
So you like the mythology ones, the My Struggle ones, more than Kitten?
No. Oh, more than Kitten, but they're generally at the bottom. Mythology ones are usually at the bottom for me. They just don't have as much to grab me with.
Unless they're from season 4 and 5.
4, 5, and 6. 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
Okay. Well, my struggle is
The struggles.
the struggle.
My struggle 5. Here it is.
You're right. I actually have trouble picking between Forehead Sweat and Followers as my number 1. I think that they're both very good and they're both very different, and there are parts of it each that I respond to a lot. But I don't feel like either one of them would land on a top
Favorite
10
of all
or
time.
anything. Yeah. So, and I even think Darren Morgan's, like I said before, season 10 episode, The Curse of the Were-Monster, whatever that one was called,
Yep.
was far stronger than Forehead Sweat. Forehead Sweat's very clever, but also Followers is very clever and satirical, and Mulder and Scully are quintessentially Mulder and Scully in it. So I have a hard time picking between those two. The struggles would probably be at the bottom. I might put 4 above Nothing Lasts Forever. If half of Nothing Lasts Forever were fleshed out differently, I might say differently. Otherwise, after that, I would probably go with Familiar, this, Ghoulie, Plus 1, Kitten. That's it. So that's how it is. And the reason why you ranked them is because we ranked them in all the other episodes.
Did we rank the season 10 ones?
We didn't rank season.
Yes, we did.
We did rank
There were
them.
only 3.
There were 6.
4 samesies.
Not really. Math teacher.
Hashtag math teacher.
All right. So now to kind of bring this home, how do you feel about the Revival 2 seasons within the context of the original 9? Do you think they hold up individually, together? Do they match the 9? Why or why not?
I mean, better than some of the 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's true.
As the person on the panel that probably likes season 8 and 9 more than anyone else, these are definitely 10 and 11 are better than seasons 8 and 9.
I have a hard time watching 8
Here,
and 9.
here.
So,
I mean,
and these
And because there's fewer of them, I'd have to go back through season 7, but there could be hold its own with season 7.
No, I'd put 7 above it. 7's got
I have to
doesn't
rewatch
7?
it. I don't remember.
Yeah, X-Cops.
I don't think it's
But
live.
there's
And
24
the Hollywood
episodes.
one, the one with Gary Shandling and Taylor.
Hollywood AD. Hollywood AD.
Hollywood AD.
I enjoy that one as well.
I've lost the titles except for certain ones. I don't know why today. They're not sticking. My favorite ones I stick, but, Would you recommend I think everybody will watch additional seasons if they make them, correct?
Yes.
Duh.
Oh yeah. For
How
sure.
did you
Or
feel?
movies.
Or
Yes.
movies. How did you feel about 10 episodes? Good, up, or down?
Better than 6.
Better
It
than
worked
6,
better.
but probably, like I said, still a couple more just to flesh out some of the extra stuff for the mythology that people are like, that could be stronger.
I think 13 would be a really good number. That's what a lot of network TV is going now too, and Netflix also does it. It's probably patterning after Netflix is because they do 13 episode seasons. I feel like 13 is a really good episode count, plus the company is named 1013, so there's
So
that.
they did 10.
And now they can do 13.
All part of Chris Carter's plan.
It's his birthday, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's
And
his birthday.
Mulder's.
And Mulder's. For Libras. Would you recommend the X-Files?
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
The revival series?
Well, I would tell them to start from the beginning. A lot of
Yeah.
what we loved,
I
about
mean-
these wouldn't make that much sense.
Almost in all cases with anything I watch, I would tell people to start from the beginning just because I like to do that. But yeah, it just makes things make more sense.
Yeah,
you
here
need the
it helps.
context for Mulder and Scully's relationship and what they've been through and why they play off each other the way they do.
Everything's
Yeah.
an inside joke in this season, too, really. There's a lot of inside jokes.
Yeah, it would be interesting to talk to somebody who never watched any of the other ones and then watch these 10 episodes to see what they got out of it.
Oh my gosh, the forehead sweat one?
I know! They'd be lost. I was lost for half of it. What? Now, I know what the Mandela effect is, but...
I mean, I stupidly at one
hilarious.
point think I said to Nick, wait, was he really in? Like the pilot, I was like, was he really in that? Then when they
There
were
is
like
a Reggie.
going to
I
home,
feel like they mentioned Reggie more than once.
Yeah.
There
and we
is a
just
Reggie.
never
We
hear
just
him.
never saw the Reggie until this episode.
Well, some of them then, like the home episode, I'm like, he wasn't in that. I'm not.
No.
You lost me. But I at one point I was like, Nick, what's going on?
The Mandela effect was working on you.
Was.
It was a multi-layered episode of intelligent stuff. Well, that's the X-Files. Do you have anything else you want to say about season 11? Your hopes for the future? To fight the future? I don't know.
I mean, I never thought we were going to get these, so
Yeah, I know.
I'm just thankful and blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
I hope their baby is a girl and they name her Piper Maru.
After Gillian Anderson's
Yeah.
daughter.
Her name, real name?
Yes.
Okay.
And that battleship that the black oil was found
Yes.
on.
Or Monica Reyes. Those are their choices for baby.
No, don't do that for the love of God.
See, I knew if I said that, Hilary would then think, oh, Piper Maru, that's a good name.
I mean, I
lost the plot.
You asked for our hopes, that's my hope.
Okay, fair.
And dreams.
All
I
right.
dream and hope for that.
Anyone else hopes and dreams? I don't think I said it
I
that
mean,
way.
I hope for another season, but
Me too.
Fluke Man is still out there.
it is,
Kyle
though.
wants to see
Yeah,
the
it
Fluke
is.
Man
Producing
so
20 years
bad.
of producing.
I mean, it's true.
There's
he
probably
did
a bunch
talk
of Fluke.
about
Yeah.
they could easily do a sequel to that.
Well, Chris Carter did. He wrote a comic. They just need to bring him back. He's still out. He's like one of the only X-Files creatures that's still out there. Like they never resolved that.
No, he went out to sea, probably terrorizing some
There could
jellyfish.
be a colony of them.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, I'm pretty sure they would have.
Well, the whole point was
Leave
he
some
was going to
parasites
rapidly
elsewhere.
reproduce.
Yeah.
I mean, Blue is out there, too.
Kyle, do you have
Yeah.
a Fluke Man outfit?
Blue!
I don't.
I
but a
love
really
that
cool
episode.
statue of him.
Oh, okay. I would like you to make one.
You didn't see his Fluke Man statue?
No. I was trying not to look around that much. I get scared of things. There was a Freddy
people-
Krueger right by me, and I was just pretending he wasn't there.
He's not real. Unless you're asleep.
Right. In your nightmares, he's real. Any
See,
hurts
this is
and
why you
kills.
appreciate your wife. I can tolerate these things.
Kyle's
I
like,
tolerate a lot too.
Oh.
Aren't
What
you sweet?
is happening?
Hashtag spicy. Is there anything else you want to say about the X-Files?
Watch it.
Fair enough. Well, watch it. We think you should watch it. I think you should watch it. And in order for you to watch it, what I'm going to do then is thank Nick, Sarah, Kyle, and Hilary for coming back once again to talk about the X-Files, though they were all willing participants. Don't let them tell you otherwise. But since I did that, I'm now going to have to do this by doing the thing which says CPU is produced by Back Pocket Productions, run by yours truly, the Chief Couch Potato, and hail from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Please, if you like what you hear, would you take the time to rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play? That means give us stars, comments, reviews. Let us know how we're doing, what you like, what you don't, what we should keep, what we shouldn't keep. You know, that's how it works. If you have suggestions on shows we might consider, contact us at our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com. by email at couchpotatorsunitepodcast@gmail.com or by Facebook and Twitter. Though, of course, we add new and old shows to chat about around the water cooler all the time. And we have more new episodes coming down the pike. I talk about them a lot in the intro. If you miss old episodes or want to know in general what we cover, just find us. We're everywhere under the Couch Potatoes Unite ! Name. You can subscribe at our website, our channels, and social media accounts to stay up on new events and episodes. Until the next time, The X-Files is available to stream currently on Hulu, which holds the Fox contract. In the meantime, our coverage of The X-Files as a panel may now be done. If Gillian Anderson and the rest
We've
of the
said
shows...
this like 3 times.
I know. If Gillian Anderson and the rest of the show's producers and showrunners are sticking to their story, though they probably won't, it'd be very unsurprising, but we could also talk about the X-Files in general just because these 4 types like to talk about the X-Files a lot. We'll keep the lights on in the basement office should anyone change their mind, and if you have nominations for shows we should cover on our podcast, contact us via social media or our email. Volunteer to be a panelist too. We accept all the people. In the meantime, until next episode, new episodes are published every Wednesday. Keep listening, keep watching, stay tuned!
Bye.